بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you everyone for attending this talk. I'm proud to announce our speaker today, Sahil Adeem. Sahil Adeem is a Muslim speaker, trainer, philosopher, consultant, and Islamic teacher. He gained acknowledgement in the past few years with his strong views on everything from global politics and academia to the very nature of the family and the upbringing of children, all through an Islamic lens. Sahil was raised in Pakistan, North America, and Europe, and he currently serves as the CEO of Source Code Academia, a platform offering a comprehensive array of courses including Arabic language, maths, biology, physics, and self-improvement, courses centered around emotional intelligence and self-awareness through the lens of the Quran and Sunnah. His content aims to empower the Muslim Ummah to become self-sufficient and prevent its intellectual decline. Without further ado.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. I have a certain agenda on which I am, and I am going to try my best to push that agenda inside your minds so that you can actually try and do that to the next guy. I'm assuming you guys are between 20 and 25. And I'm assuming you guys are all studying something related to economics. No? Okay. Let's just, I'm not going to get an intro of everybody. Just try and give me a little bit of a sample, sir. What are you studying?
Commercial law.
Law. Oh, yeah, okay. That's good. Very good. I can actually use that, yes. And you, sir?
Finance.
Finance. Yeah, that's close to economics. And you, sir? Yep.
Medicine.
Medicine. Here? No, not here. Oh, who's not from LSE? Okay. So who is from LSE? Why have you come here then? We could have met anywhere else. Yeah, so what are you studying? Statistics. Okay. And you, ma'am? Accounts. What's the last girl? Economics. Economic? History. Okay, so let me just begin. This is supposedly an interactive session. So, from Pakistan, any questions? No? Okay, let me just pose my own. Who plans to go back to Pakistan or their own country after about 5-6 years? You? Anybody else? You? Okay. And okay, so you guys are local residents, plan to die here. Yeah? Hopefully, yeah? So what are you going to do after you go back, sir?
Public law.
Public law? What part of the country are you going to go to?
Karachi.
Karachi. What's the scope of public law there?
I mean, we have constitutional issues that
Okay, I'm going to be a little abrupt so that I can actually shake you guys up. What is the one change that you're going to do in 10 years?
what I can do is change one minor law in the UK, that's for you.
Here
In Pakistan.
in Pakistan. And what part of your like why? What kind of change that you want in that sort of? Do you have an archetype in mind? Do you have some guy or character in mind who actually did that? And you're trying to?
I mean, lawyers who are good at arguing usually come up with decisions that change people's decisions. So
Okay.
lawyers in Pakistan in litigation that says
See, my expectation is very clear. From you to you, from everybody. And let's see, if you guys are not going to make a bigger change in 10 years, you know, this is a problem for the rest of England. And not just the rest of England, for the rest of Islam. You guys are at the very, very high point in the hierarchy of dominance here. And you didn't just come to LSE. A lot of people came together to put you in LSE. Not just your parents, but people in LSE. They put that brand in. So you're not just in any school. You're in a school which is going to give you enough wings so that you can actually cash it in when the moment of truth is going to be upon you. So I'll tell you this, okay? I came to England for a reason. I came here so that I can push Muslims in England to make a bigger change in all the Muslim world, not just Pakistan or India. And people in Pakistan or India are not going to be able to do that. The system is set in a way that whatever power you're going to gain in Karachi is not going to be enough. You need to rile up and heard the American, the English, the French, and the rest of the Muslim, wherever they may be, to come together in a way that, a global push or a voice bigger than just the Pakistani voice is going to affect. Because, like it or not, London is still calling the shots on what is going on right now in the country right now. The elections are going on right now. And it's not an amusing fact that most people in London, some people in London know whatever is going to happen in the next 24 hours, and most people in Pakistan don't. This is a problem, and we need to solve that problem. Only you can solve that problem. And if you do not have your aim right, then you are the problem. Because Pakistan is nor a problem or a solution. It's just, well-intended, assuming that they are well-intended people, 250 million, and just about that much in Bangladesh, about 200 million, and about just this much in India, about 200 million. All of those people are affected by people, some people, hundreds of people, less than actually that right now, in America and England. And they call the shots on whatever's going to happen to countries like these. And I don't care, really, deep down, I don't really care about what happens to, the map or the countries. What I really care about is, what my agenda is, that the brand, the definition, the identity of Islam is being changed by people who have absolutely nothing to do with Islam. And most of them are not even non-Muslims. Most of them are Muslims. And that's a problem. The fact that not enough people know about this, let alone care about this, has to change. And I'm not going to call you kids, young adults like you better understand the problem. If a guy flies from Pakistan to England, talks to you straight, and tells you that if you're not going to wake up, I'm sorry, millions of people are going to lose their Muslim identity, and you don't get affected, I do not know what else to do. I swear to you, I do not know where else to go. I can go to Harvard, Yale, or Oxford. They're not going to get 1% of that, trigger, because you guys are, I'm assuming, very well connected to Pakistan, or India, or Bangladesh, through your parents. I'm assuming you're still watching the news of whatever's going on in Pakistan every day. Some of you guys are just going to go back and become that news. And this is a problem. So, I know you guys didn't come here to change the Muslim identity. You guys didn't even come here to change your own identity. Some of you guys don't even know what that means. And this is why people like me, and I'm not the only one, a lot of people running around the planet, literally running around the planet, trying to get everybody together, and first of all, under an umbrella, shake them up, like literally shake them up, to say that my kids in Pakistan, my daughters in Pakistan depend on your performance in England. Like literally, their here and hereafter depends on your performance in England. Things have come down to this. But that's the natural hierarchy of order. People upstream, actually on top of the waterfall, that should be the perfect analogy. If they don't make a change, we're not going to get any kind of effect downstream. We're way downstream in Pakistan. And we're a lot of people. You guys are 4 million Muslims in England. By the way, that's the most amount of Muslims anywhere else other than the Muslim land. England. And I know you didn't choose LSE to make that kind of choice, but I'm sorry, I'm here. I'm going to ask you. And I'm not just going to ask you that as if I'm begging you. I'm telling you. I'm going to be assertive because I'm using that word called Islam here. Because I need you performing in law, in public law. I need you performing in your career, because the problem right now here in this planet right now is that most of the Muslims who actually represent Islam have a beard, carry, themselves as scholars, wearing a turban. Those girls wearing the hijabs, calling themselves scholars, which are well-versed with the Quran and the Seerah and the Sunnah. They actually have divorced public performance They do not use the word career anymore. And the people who use the word career and are performing publicly, making policies, doing politics, making the bigger change, they have nothing to do with Islam, even though they are Muslims. They think it's the job of the mullah or the Maulvi or the sheikh or whatever. I didn't go to the madrasa or whatever. I'm not one of those guys. I can only pray and fast, and maybe one time, 10, 20 years, I'll just go for the Hajj. That's it. This is a problem I'm here to solve. I'm actually going everywhere. God willing, I'm going to go literally to every city which matters. Wherever there is a potential to make a global change. Scandinavia, that's what I'm eyeing out on Norway and Sweden. Some parts of Denmark maybe. Because those countries have established a platform. Not for Islam, but for global change. Norway is making a global change. You should, LSC, know why I just picked Norway out of all Scandinavia. You should know why I'm actually looking eye to eye right now and demanding that if you're not going to make the change, you're not going to make Islam as a career, literally, the word career, with all its prerequisites, then there is not going to be any more Islam. I'm telling you this right now. Whoever was responsible for, plummeting the brand of Islam, doesn't really matter. I'm not going to pick on people or institutes. But Islam is not a career anymore. It's just a hobby. Ali bin Abi Talib had a career. That's why a lot of people in this room are called Ali. Umar Khattab or Fatima had a career. You know that career? That is Islam, public performance. Their IQ was actually changing people's lives. They were making laws. They were making policies. They were making precedents. We are not. We're actually, way away. We don't use Islam as part of a career choice, even though politics is the central part of Islam. We divorced politics 1,200 years ago. Well, we didn't divorce politics as human beings. We divorced politics as a Muslim choice of an Islamic identity. That's why you will never see a guy with a beard wearing a turban in politics. You will never see a guy in a turban reaching for a business career as well, with an aim to actually put that resource in affecting a big enough change for other people. How Elon Musk is doing a way better performance on the rules of Islam than any other Muslim who's actually making that kind of money. Zuckerberg is making way more headway into public change, policy change, affecting and influencing people. If he or these people were Muslims, trained into Islam, the original psychology of Islam, they would have actually, casted a lot bigger effect on the way Islam is going to perform or Muslims are going to perform. But since no Muslim is actually in that realm, forget the realm. They can't even start to think that this is an Islamic choice to perform in business or law or politics, especially politics. That's why, even if you see Hamza Yusuf premiering Scotland, he's not going to be able to do anything for Palestine. And even if he does, he's going to use the left, not the right. Hell, more of the left side of the flank is pro-Palestine than the right, globally. More on the global right is pro-Israel. So this is, you see, this is the landscape. Somebody divorced politics from Islam, and all the minions of whoever they are, even if they perform, they don't really matter. They go into the flanks of Islam, and all of them accumulatively do not matter. Because, gaining the resource, gaining power, gaining acumen, raising your intelligence is not part of Islam. Global intelligence, things that matter, current affairs, making policy. And if I ask you names of people who've actually changed the public opinion, about things that matter globally, you're going to spend a week writing down names. Top 1,000 names is not going to have a Muslim, let alone a guy who's trying to do it for Islam. That's why you see global leadership every year published, regardless of whoever's publishing it, from Scandinavia to Indonesia to Australia to Russia to America. You're not going to find a Muslim there. Because we're not choosing it by choice. We're not using the Quran as the source of energy to make that global change. If any classical Muslim scholar was here holding this microphone right now, right here, you know what he'd be doing? He'd be actually talking to you guys about how to be a good person. You know, how to wear proper clothes and how to wear a hijab and all of that stuff. How to respect your parents. And that's it. He's capped it. Capped it as an individual working on your own personal performance. It's not going to affect the guy sitting next to you. If anything, it's going to affect the guy next to you in a poor way. So poor that, you your own self are not going to generate enough belief in your own words, because that guy next to you has an organic demand of making his or her life effectively better through your words. This is the problem that you need to solve, because you are already eligible. You have the resume being made right now. I hope you are really performing really well in LSE. I hope you're making use of LSE. Because if you do well in LSE, you have a potential to actually slipstream through whatever course you're going to choose. That's a problem I have with all of those people who are studying, because it's an either-or choice. In any school a Muslim goes, he does not go to school for Islam. He says, you know what, masjid is for that reason, man. I have to go to the masjid for Islam. And what does he do in a masjid? He goes 5 times a day for 5 minutes only. As soon as he's done praying, which he doesn't even understand what he's saying during the prayer, he gets out before he's actually going there to get out of there. He's reverse parked into the masjid. So I know the masjid is not going to actually make the change now, because we've defined it wrong. But schools like these are going to make a change. Enough Muslims have the right mindset, the right perspective. Students like you are the only hope that people like me have. And I'm not saying anything which is out of the ordinary. If I were not a Muslim nor a Muslim speaker, I would be saying the same things. I would be telling you to do, good in your career, perform according to what your aims are, make bigger aims, have bigger wings, spread them really well, make sure you know where the wind is, understand the direction, understand the current, and make sure you fly and soar really high. I was saying the same things. This time around, I'm a Muslim talking about Islam, and I'm telling you the same things. I'm trying to tell you that your intellectual core is the basic need of Muslims all over the world. And since I'm a Pakistani, I'm going to tell you that 250 million girls and boys, and about close to 1 billion people in South Asia who are Muslim, close to 1 billion Muslims, are literally dependent on any one element of your performance in any category that you're choosing right now. And by the way, you've chosen a lot of relevant things. Except medicine. We could use a lot of doctors, but we need political scientists right now way more than doctors and engineers. We need the liberal arts performing really well, eloquently speaking about things that are real problems, understanding why a classic narrative, which is anti-Palestinian, by the way, millions of people in the world who are actually believing that Palestinians are wrong, actually generate a rationale around this. You need to know how and where that rationale comes from. We can't be just too biased about our own narrative and, fall for our own confirmation. Just because we're Muslims. You are in that field where you need to empathize with the other party well enough to know how do they build a rationale around a subject which is so obvious to us that most of the world calls it a genocide. There has to be some sort of logic and sense that convinces a lawyer on the other side to build a case and then has the courage, other than, whatever lobby is backing it up, a personal courage. He just comes in and presents it with such assertiveness. You think it's a joke? No. That's your job to find out. An engineer or a doctor is not going to be able to do that. You're in the field, public law. You need to prepare a case coming from the other lawyer, the other side, before you prepare your own case. That's job one. You need to know the rebuttal before your own argument. That's job one. And again, you might think that I'm, throwing a plea on table. No. I'm demanding your performance. I'm telling you as a Muslim that if Muslim girls and boys are not performing in England, I'm sorry. Close to 2 billion people who are calling themselves Muslims are not going to be able to perform in wherever they are, especially North Africa, South Asia, and the Arabians. Any one hero. We're missing out. We're so far behind that Victoria has laid the platform for you. 90% of your work is done. You're already in the limelight. You just have to hold a microphone with enough of your performance in your own academia, and then start expressing by changing, not just in Karachi, by talking about London. I'm in London. Yeah, I'm London. I've been in so many cities, I keep forgetting. If you cannot affect London, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to affect Karachi. You gain confidence here, you've conquered the world. You gain confidence in Karachi, you just conquered Karachi. That's the value of being in a higher place in the scaffolding of the dominance, the hierarchy of dominance. That's it. It's common sense. So am I putting a lot of pressure on you? Not even close to what I want. I'm trying to break that little perception that you're carrying that, LSE is going to, cash itself out. No, LSE is not just going to cash itself out whenever you're going to publish or print your resume in front of whoever you ever want to work, or that category of people who are looking for somebody from England. No. LSE is not going to do that. You need to perform inside LSE, regardless of whatever LSE has done. If you are aiming from London to the rest of the world, that's the least you have to do. I'm sorry. What's your name, sir? Shai. A lot of Shais in Karachi. Okay? I won't be able to compete just because you're coming from London. You need to understand, that's a responsibility. It's not a luxury. So people are not going to leave England. They're way more important right now to me. I'm actually forcing people not to go back. Pace yourself. Understand the next 10 years. Understand them. Write down certain goals right now. And I'm not talking about English goals. I'm talking about goals which are global. You should right now know, because you're of the age, that you're going to see the next heir to the throne after MBS. What's the problem that region is going to face in the next 10, 20 years? Because it's going to make it way over that. I'm just saying after that as well. After Urdugan, what's next? You guys have a career right now, right here. They're going to be begging for you if you are performing here. You need to write down the top 10 areas where these regions are going to be needing people who are performing in England, because they worship this part of the world. They literally worship with all the meanings of this word. Do you think that was a joke when, and did you come from Bangladesh? Or are you a local here? I'm local. You're born here?
I grew up in Bolton.
Yeah, okay, so when your father was coming to England, right? He migrated?
My grandparents.
Grandparents, when they were migrating from Dhaka or Chittagong? can't pronounce this. Okay, so wherever that is, it's in Bangladesh, right? So when they were coming to England, the whole city was celebrating. You have to understand, same happened, every family goes to that. Oh, you know, one of our people is going to England, he's going to bring prosperity back. I'm not here to talk about your financial performance. Of course, that's a given. You need to do that regardless of whether I'm here or not. Regardless of whether you're Muslims or not, you need to perform. You need to make money. You better. No, I mean it, you better. But I'm talking about way more than just money. Okay? I have a network. I'm building a network right now. I'm coming straight from Melbourne. That was my last city, actually Perth. I'm connecting every Muslim together so that the network is strong and wide and of the right and relevant people, students your age. I'm going to Norway next, and then if I can do Sweden, right after that, going to America. Connecting every Muslim so that the network is strong. So that as soon as you start performing, you have a network right there. Use it. You already have your subscribers and your customers or whatever you're going to do. They're not in thousands, they're in hundreds of thousands, if not millions by the end of this tour, inshallah. You already have it. I'm presenting it to you. I'm giving it to you for free. And that's where LSE is going to be really handy. That's where London is going to be really handy. Because most of the people in Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan, they don't even know what LSE represents. The network I'm going to give you is global. They know the value of LSE. They know that if you did well here, you're good enough for anything. You conquered the top of the hierarchy. You're the king of the hill. So understand, this is not just a session. This should be changing many things, including your perspective. I have this network. You look me up, you just join in for free. And we'll be servicing you, literally servicing you, honoring the fact that, you know what, you have a higher IQ, you have beaten higher standards of education, you conquered those, you just didn't just perform, you performed at a place which required, actually you were competing with the best, and you won. We're not going to be asking for your grades, we'll be asking for literally, what did you do after? Where are the tangibles? Okay, it's a responsibility. Actually, teenagers are building up. I'm actually connecting 100,000 teenagers right now so that they can come into public policy, influence. So, it's right there. It's served to you. Can you do something about it? Any politician in Pakistan, in India is going to tell you, oh, you have 200,000, 500,000 people? Just give them to me. I'm a billionaire. I've got resources. I can make a lot of things change in India or Pakistan or Bangladesh. If I have 200,000 overseas Muslims, if they cross 1 million or 2 million, oh, it's a totally different ball game. You can win literally elections in Pakistan if you have 1 million overseas backing you up. That's how big this is. But I don't want you to think on these lines. But I think I'm a Muslim. I don't even believe in democracy. I think that's a problem. We need to solve that. But that's for some other day. That's for some other day. What I'm here for is change the way a Muslim is represented in the world. You don't have to wear a turban to actually, call the shots of whatever's going to happen to Islam in 2050. Because I'm not going to be there in 2050. You guys will be in the peak of your performance in 2050. That's the game. I'm here to pass the baton. And you better understand, you were born at the right time. Where you can actually make that choice. That's the job. And one of you girls or boys is going to be right here, or in Oxford, in Harvard, or Yale, doing the same thing for the next 20-year-olds. But if you're not even aiming for it, then yeah, okay, you can go get your employment. work for the next 20 years, trying to please a boss for the next payroll, update your resume every Friday evening in any job you're ever going to do. That's the other side. That's your regular Joe. By the way, that's your regular Joe out of Oxford, Yale, and Harvard. Hopping from job to job, trying to get that 20% increment every year. That's the other guy. I'm not that guy. I'm telling you, your career should be spanning from generation to generation. If you're not changing that next generation, I'm sorry. You're not a Muslim anymore. You just have this little pendant hanging, says Allah. Sorry. A Muslim is a performer, especially girls. You know, the bigger problem that I face, 50% of all Muslims are girls. We do not see one single precedence in the last 500-600 years. Not even a single girl has come in mainstream performing for Islam. Not even a single. You think it was a fluke that you came into LSE at this point in time where, Muslims are going through, Islam is going through whatever it's going through? No, it's not. Everything is in the greater design. Now it's upon you. We just need one. If you get one, you get 1,000 in the kids, teenagers. If you can produce one. It's like first mover advantage. We have a lot of guys who have performed the last 1,000 years. You can, look them up. But why not a girl? So, boys and girls, that's the case. Make Islam a career. I can't force you. I know I can't. But I am going to make sure that this comes in as a reminder that this guy came in from Islamabad, literally flew into London, spoke to me, said, you know what? There are only two choices that you're going to make, no matter whether you like it or not. These are the only two choices. Either make Islam a career, or make a career somewhere else and keep Islam as a hobby. And now you know what's going on in all the Muslim worlds. All those, hobby guys and girls, they're crying about, whatever's happening in Gaza. You know what's happening in Gaza? It's not because of Israel. Israel is doing whatever it's supposed to do for whatever it has, whatever their purpose is. And that's a good job according to whatever, case they have. Gaza is going through whatever it's going through because you and I are not making Islam a career. It's 2 billion Muslims who better be blamed for whatever's going on in Gaza. Not the few million in Jerusalem or Tel Aviv. No. Let's set the prism right. Okay? And we're just okay with the fact that, we can do whatever we can in our daily lives while those girls and boys, those people are carrying their little kids in bags, whatever piece they can get their hands on of their own kids to bring them home and bury them. It is not because of Israel, I'm sorry. It is because we have made Islam a hobby, not a career. And if enough Muslims are performing in England, I'm telling you, in the right places, which of course you guys are in the right places, then we could have changed or influenced a lot more things that you can fathom at your age. In my age, I'm telling you, one LSE would have been enough. One class of LSE would have been enough. Because I know who's calling the shots in the foreign policy of most of Scandinavia and England. Those are kids. Those people were kids about 20 years ago in LSE. Those people are performing really well. And I'm not talking about Rishi Sunaks and the likes. No. Those people are way more powerful. They're way behind. They do not come in front of the camera, but their articles and their journals make the big difference. Their phone calls are the real calls everybody waits for. These little puppets are just yapping around for TV, nothing else. So this is it. This is my job. That's why I came here. I really, really appreciate your patience for listening to a guy who talks like me about stuff that I talk about, especially with the kind of challenge that I actually carry. Especially, I'm sorry for the tone that I carry, but I have expectations, you know. I'm a Muslim man. I have expectations. I have daughters. I have a son. I have expectations. Because you are in the middle of me and my son. You are in the middle of, talking about by age. You are in the middle of me and my daughters. If you're not going to perform, they're not going to have any precedents to follow. They'll have to start it from zero. And if a child 20 years from now starts from zero and does whatever she is required to do, that's a big damn failure on your part, right? Because you already had that platform. A boy who's 10 is going to perform in 10 years. Sorry, that's a shame on our part. That's the problem. And you're the solution. I'm sorry, our daddies were the problem. Their daddies were the problem too. You can solve that problem. Convert Islam from a hobby to a real career. You should know the problems of the regions where Muslims are suffering. I'm not talking about just Palestine. I'm not just talking about Pakistan. Okay, I'm not talking about just Bangladesh. And I mean, we all know India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. I mean, we know what's going on there. So, somebody from LSE is going to be called by these leaders because of whatever reason, academic reason, because of his performance. By the way, that guy from LSE was called by Imran Khan to write the economic policy of Pakistan. That's how it works. But they didn't do it for Islam, eh? That's what I'm saying. Perform really well. Please perform. Please perform. Please become politically active. In England, please make money. No, I beg of you, please make money. Okay? And make sure you start making the change here in some sort of a policy. One victory, I swear to you, one victory you need, all you need is a tiny little victory at your neighborhood level, a city level, or a council level, and that's it. You're set. You're going to leave your nest, and you're going to be flapping your wings all over the globe. You just need that one victory. And by the way, you should be amazed. Look it up, because that's the first thing I did when I landed in England. You should know what kind of changes in law are being made in England by the kind of age that people are making that change. You'll be amazed, like, how did they even think about it? Well, it happened to them. They didn't take the initiative. That calamity happened to them, so they reacted, and the change was made. You guys have too good of a life, mashallah. Calamities are not coming towards you. You got to run towards the calamity. That's the game. Your daddies and your mommies did really well, so that you don't go through troubles. No, but you better run towards the trouble. Okay, that's the job. But we're Muslims here. There's so much trouble already. You don't have to go far. But you got to pick your own battle and make sure you understand how to win that battle. Make sure you understand there are going to be many people with you, millions of them with you, if you really know how to use them. I'm telling you this right now. Write down my name. Anything that I ever do, it's up for your service. Just use it. And once you're going to Google me up, you'll find out it's not a joke. You'll find out that, hundreds of thousands of people are just waiting for any one of you guys to lead them. Like literally. I'm not saying anything allegorically or metaphorically or figuratively. I'm literally telling you, hundreds of thousands of people are inside a network on social media, and they're not just Facebook group fan followers. No. They're actually, writing down presentations and articles just to make sure that they can present it to the rest of the people. It's called the IMS. It's a platform. And they're waiting for any one of you guys to lead them into a bigger change. Literally. Use it. That's the job. Thank you so much for your time. No. Any questions, anybody? Yes, sir.
So I have three. So the first one is that.
You have three. Did you say you have three?
Yeah.
You have three questions. Okay. Yeah, go on, sir.
Jazakallah khair for the very energetic talk. So the first one is that you said that you have expectations from the Muslims in London, which is a very, very fair expectation to have. But if I play the devil's advocate, so most of the people that are in London, they come from British background. So you're asking them to work and overthrow the power that upholds their privilege. Is there an incentive for them to do that? Secondly, the second question is that from my limited exposure to London of around 4-5 weeks, what I've seen here is that one of the rhetorics that I get when I talk about political issues with other Muslim students is that, look, the university has provided us a safe prayer space, we can conduct our weekly halaqas, etc., so we should be nice to the university management, because if I tweet Iqbal's couplet becomes equivalent of है बुल्ला को लंदन में सर्दी की इजाजत तो नादान ये समझता है कि इस्लाम है and this is not just when I talk about this reflects in their statements. So like multiple predominantly Muslim organizations, student or bodies in London, when they write a statement, the first line they write is that we are apolitical entities.
Apolitical, yeah.
Apolitical entities.
Yeah.
So this reflects in their writing when they're writing.
Yeah, that's the landscape, yeah.
And the third thing is a more general question of how do you think we are talking about India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and other nations. In this day and age, the nation state has become such a normal concept. How do you think that we can detach ourselves from nation state? Because from my own understanding, I don't think nation state has an identity in Islam. It's again quoted.
Yeah, I should have brought the map. But you really know your Iqbal?
I love Iqbal, sorry. So yeah.
This is now most of Pakistanis don't know as much as you.
So yeah, these three are.
Yeah. मुल्लाह को जो हिंद में सजदे की इजाजत. See, this is a delusion. This nation state theory is a delusion. No, even though there are nations, there are lines drawn on the map, it's a delusion. Pakistan is not just Pakistan. Pakistan is the 51st state of America. You understand how the power runs, okay? 10 Downing Street calls more shots in Delhi than anywhere else in India. So understand how, I know you guys are of age to know how the deep state works, right? You know the word deep state? Okay, well, classic Muslim crowd, eh? Come on. Deep state? No? Never heard of it?
A state which
No? Really? Okay, it's all right. So look it up and see how the intricate map of how the power is, calling the shots on all the places in the globe. Deep state is a real concept. That's how things are run on this planet. Now, India is the 51st state or 52nd state of America. No, not really. Okay? It tries its best to be another province or state of Russia. But there's so many things that happen around these states that you should know. You should know. That's why I hold from England. Okay? And I'm not talking about King Charles here. I'm talking about an active, efficient Muslim in England. Active and efficient at the same time. You should know how to look at yourself and your career. If you do it for Islam, any second that you spend in England doing whatever you're doing is going to raise your ranks in Jannah. It's common sense. But if you're going to do it for your career, which is the current landscape, is the current mindset of a Muslim, this has got nothing to do with my hasana or Jannah. Oh, I'm going to do. And you know what? We feel less Muslims when we're actually making money. We feel less Muslim when we're actually running our careers. We feel only Muslim when we're in a masjid or doing, tasweer or prayers. Are you kidding me for this? That's the problem I have with the mindset of the mullah right now. He's going to bow down to any and every power. He's never going to be able to tell his own child that you got to take the power in your hand. Even though Allah says, وَأَعِدُّ لَهُمْ مَسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ. Take all the power, muster up all whatever you can. Okay? We do not believe in Matthew 22. Leave what is to Caesar. Is whatever is from Caesar. Render unto Caesar what is for Caesar, and render unto the church what is for the church. That's not Islam. Islam is وَعِدُّ لَهُمْ مَسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ. And who is the Al Quwa right now? All the people who don't really care about Islam. They don't even understand Islam. They think, oh, Islam was the job of the Maulvi, man. Come on, I didn't go to madrasa. I didn't send my daughter or my son to become a hafiz and a qari and so on and so forth. That's why whenever you're going to see a Muslim speaker, and you're going to ask him, what's going on in wherever you're from, America or Arabia or whatever, he'll be like, what? Islam has nothing to do with politics. That's whatever politics is. Mufti Menk is going to sit with the Israeli ambassador, have dinner, right when Gaza is happening, and we're going to ask Mufti Menk, like, what were you even thinking, man? You should have at least, put your stance on the table. And it's like, hey, politics is not what I do. I'm a preacher, I'm a da'i. Da'i of what? Da'i of what? They're amazing da'is. They're way better da'is than us. They actually shift power to, their next generations. That's the problem, and you better solve that problem. Umar al-Khattab held office. Ali bin Abi Talib held office. Abu Bakr Siddiq held office. He ran the political system. So much so that whenever there was a risk to the political framework, they went against even the Muslims of Medina. That's how important the political system is. 70,000 people were killed by who? Abu Bakr Siddiq, who were Muslims. This is a new definition that came about 1,200 years ago. We started writing books because we wanted to please the power of Yazid bin Muawiyah. He's the one who divorced the power structures from the Muslim mindset. Otherwise, Muslims are supposed to be in power. When monarchy remains for hundreds of years inside any nation, everybody is born a slave. That's the problem. Then they don't just, See, Islam is a hardware, software. This is a hardware. Understand, this hardware has the original operating system, which is Islam. You'll understand this analogy really well. Now, if you boot that hardware somewhere else, or, copy and paste unlicensed applications in there, this operating system is not going to work really well. That's why you have confused Muslims. You better be confused Muslims by, in the kind of age you are in, and in the kind of country you're in, with the kind of, lineage that we have. We are grandsons of the immigrants. Me too. I am a son of an immigrant to Alaska, literally, to America. But my father was exiled because he was fighting with the government. Hence Alaska. Hence Anchorage, Alaska. But I was raised in Chicago because nobody could survive in Alaska. He couldn't, as soon as he could make it back to Chicago, he did. So you guys we're all sons of immigrants. Most of the immigrants are from lower socio-economic class. Hence, they had to leave to make their ends meet. So you can see Pakistani Indians and Bengalis working in factories in the 60s and 40s in England, going to places where there were mills and factories. That's our grandfathers. Now I get that. That's the only choice they had. Even though they had the same apolitical Islam. But once you are born in England, you need to understand, you didn't see that landscape. You saw a totally different landscape. You saw all of the socioeconomic classes actively political, okay? Which of course there are in Pakistan and India. They're not doing it in the name of Islam. These guys are not doing it in the name of Islam. And then you were not born a peasant or a factory worker. You were born a regular English boy or girl. You did not have that, confused complex. You did not please the next white man, the first man that, you interact. You never pleased the whites. You know what? You were as good as the whites, the blacks in England. You were born here. You went to school. They were classmates. They were awesome, great friends. Our grandfathers didn't get to see them. Do you know that we know our grandfathers? You know what they got to see? When they saw a white man, he was actually literally carrying a whip. He was in Bangalore or Lahore or Hyderabad, treating those people as slaves. I get that. That was the setting. That was the setting. That was the landscape. Here, you can actually change the policy now. You can literally change the law. It doesn't take a brown or a white or a black man to do that. It takes common sense and logic and, any sort of a problem that you see, you scout a problem and you try and solve it. That's what the law is for, so that we can actually get it better. That's why you see most of the people in India, Pakistan, or Bangladesh, whenever they make the law or they change the law, both of these people are financial elites or political elites. The middle worker is not going to change the law in Pakistan or India or anywhere in the world. It is the confidence of a performer in schools like these that actually make that change happen. Why do you think I have hopes from you guys? Plus, you're in London. You're not even in a remote area inside England. You're in the center of the world right now. You are on top of the hill. If you have a complex of not being to Harvard or Yale, then you have a way bigger problem than I can actually, fathom. You shouldn't be under any complex. Let's see, stop the food chain. You should have a sharper sword. And, you can cut through the clutter. You can see where to go, where to place yourself, how to talk. You're the most eloquent people in England. You better be the most eloquent students in England. I have expectations from you for a reason. I don't know your names. I don't know your resumes. I don't know your folks. I just know LSE. You can't just walk into LSE and say, you know what, I'm a nobody. I just want to study here. That's not how it works. I like LSE. Please put me in. That's not how you got in. So what I'm saying is, if Londoners, English-born Muslims, are not going to start that process, it's not a process of what? Making Islam as a career. Then I'm sorry, people in Islamabad, they're gone. They're dead in the water. In Dhaka, in Delhi. They're dead in the water. Okay, so this apolitical Islam was a curse. It was a curse. It was given to, to make sure nobody actually resists whoever is going to be in power. Because Quran is the only source of mobility of Muslims. They had to just change the definition between the Quran and the follower of the Quran. They did it. They did it really well, by the way. Books published in Pakistan in the time of Ayub Khan, calling him the Amir al-Mumineen. Scholars are writing him Amir al-Mumineen so that people wouldn't really resist whatever he says. That's the problem. We're indoctrinated against the political structures in the name of Islam. Now the time has come to change that. You are the precedents. I hope so. I forgot your third question.
The third one was about nation state.
Oh, okay, so I started with that. Did I miss out on anything?
Why would people, so most of the people here who get into LSE or the top universities in London, they come from privileged backgrounds. Why would they go back and try to deconstruct?
No, I don't want you to go back. Oh my God, did I say that?
Sorry. Okay, they won't go back, but why would they speak against, or why would they try?
Oh, because I'll tell you, two reasons. One, you're of the age where it's cool to do that. You want the power in your hand, don't you? You want to be in those cars, back seats, on those streets. When you're going to be moving, people are going to be thinking, where are you? What's your next article going to look like? What's your next speech going to look like? It's not a fluke that Andrew Tate is a celebrity, eh? He's a celebrity of your mindset. He fits right in the profile, the archetype. But he's making businessmen out of you, which is awesome. Okay, I am for that too. I want to make politicians out of you. Your next idea should be sought out by millions in the Muslim world. And not just in the Muslim world, in America as well. Your next article, your next tweet should change few things. People should be tracking down who you're meeting next. You should be in the game of power. It is earned. You're not just going to get it. I'm sorry. You can be rich by a fluke, but you cannot be powerful by just a fluke. Okay? It is earned. It is earned through performance. And this is your only organ. You better practice understanding how power works. Credibility, that's the word. You keep writing right things consistently, you're going to make it in less than 10 years. You need to have the right network. I'm giving it to you. And I'm not the only one. People are going to love putting you in their networks. I just have a way bigger network than regular folks with an intent to put people like you in the limelight. That's what I do. Because I know how power works. I know the psychology of how groups move and behave. They behave just to mimic the people in power. That's your natural order. You are wearing whatever you're wearing because of somebody who was wearing it 20 years ago. You're talking the way you're talking because of somebody who was talking the way you are talking right now. You want to be whatever you want to be because of some guy who did it 20 years ago in those areas which you chose as your career paths. That's how hierarchies are made, which is awesome. Now, it's not your job to make sure about 1 million people want to be you, the way you wear whatever you wear, the way you talk whatever you talk like. Regular girls in Pakistan, India can't even do the math, can't even understand what I'm saying, let alone do something about it. You guys not only know what I'm talking about, you can criticize me and do it even better. And that's the least I expect from you guys, by the way. I don't expect you to follow me. I'm a reminder. I'm not even an influencer of IQs like you. I hope not. I'm just here trying to give you a perspective. That's it. You better understand how high I think of you guys. I hope I'm right. I swear to God, I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong here, I don't know where to be right anymore or what to be right about anymore. Yes, sir.
I have a question. Is Moss there?
Uh-huh.
You said you used to come from Melbourne, right?
Melbourne, yeah. Come out of Melbourne, not back from. Yeah.
No, like whereabouts? Like which of the parts of Australia did you go to?
I went to all over Australia. I started from Canberra, then to Sydney. Then I went to Melbourne twice, speaking to big audiences, not just schools. And then I went to Perth, spoke there, and then I came to England.
Did you ever go to Queensland by any chance? Like Gold Coast or Brisbane?
You know what? I miss Brisbane because of a reason, but I will go there again because those people, because that's the network now. Now they're calling me back for the teenage development program, and which of course I'm going to do while I'm talking to, students like of your age. Because teenagers literally dependent on your performance. They're going to choose the school because of, little names. If you're performing well. But yeah, so that's the landscape in Australia. And by the way, I literally boasted. If you can YouTube me, you'll be seeing me boasting in Perth and Melbourne about you guys. I'm actually quoting that, I'm going to England because that's where the real plutonium, this, real source of nuclear energy, the Muslim potential is. You see it, YouTube it, you'll find out. I wouldn't make that thing up, not in front of you guys, because you can look it up right now. In Perth and in Melbourne, I'm like, that's the only hope I have. By the way, they're already following whatever's going on in England. And likely that's literally England. Have you been to Australia?
Did my undergraduate in Australia.
Yeah, so you can't find a difference between anything in Australia and England because, that's mimicry. That's just, how hierarchies are made. I'm not saying they love England or whatever. I'm just saying, the structures are created in England. And since there is no conflict between England and Australia politically, so it's like, New Zealand and Australia. But, England is calling the shots on India and Pakistan way more than it's calling the shots on Australia. It doesn't really, take a rocket scientist to do the math. Yes, sir. So, yes, sir.
You have
Atom.
and maybe many others.
A bit louder, I'm sorry. Just Plus, I can't really do your accents really well. I have a hard time understanding English. No. Okay, go on.
It's easier this way. So you may have left me and maybe many others motivated today, but I feel sometimes these motivations come from emotionality which may be temporary. So my question to you is, someone's not inherently a humanitarian or someone's not inherently...
No, I'm only playing that one commonality between all of us, Islam.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to trigger any emotion here. I'm trying to change definitions. Oh, no. No emotionality here, okay? If anything, you should be a little pissed off as to why you're challenging my core belief. You think you're the only Muslim who got it? All of the scholarship didn't get it and you got it? How dare you? That's the only emotion that you should be actually, carrying right now, if there is any emotion. But I'm trying to tell you to make money. That's not emotional. I'm trying to tell you to come into politics. That's not a motivational speech. I'm trying to tell you to choose Islam as a career. Make sure you're performing as a Muslim. That's not a motivational speech. I'm putting responsibility in your head. I'm not saying, oh, you know what? You're the hero of the story. No. Story hasn't even begun yet. I'm telling you, it's supposed to be earned, and you better earn it. It's not just going to pan out just because, you come out of LSE, all of a sudden, angels are coming down. That's not going to happen. Angels are going to come down if you have the right intent and aim. You better aim for it. That's what I'm saying. In about 2-3 weeks from now, after whatever you processed all of this, you better have a 10-year plan for yourself as a solution to the problems 10 years from now, not the current problems. We are trained not to think about 10 years from now. Okay? Make sure the current landscape of the intellectual arena right now is done from a farmer's psychology because of internet and technology. It's too fast. Effervescence, that's the word. In psychology, you use effervescence. You're not a farmer in Islam, you're a gardener in Islam. You make sure you plan for 50 or 60 years, 100 years. And you're just a part of the 100 years, because you're not going to make it to 100 years. I'm telling you this right now, God willing. You're not here, all of us are not going to be here in 100 years. So you need to know how to prepare and what part of the solution you are and who's going to carry that forward. If no one's going to carry that forward, then you know what? If it was a selfish, self-centered, a fan club you wanted to create. That's at best. And you know what? A lot of people have tried that and we don't really respect them. No matter from where, which religion, which area, which demographic or geography you're from, you don't like that guy or you don't follow that guy who's all about himself. We need people who know how to create successes as well. And I'm telling you that you're going to be so responsible that you better find success and prepare them. Like I'm here for you. I'm not preparing you. I'm reminding you because you're younger than me. You're right after me. You're right behind me. And I'm telling you, you know what? Islam is, there's a quagmire in the name of Islam. It's going to get you. And it's going to make you feel better. You're going to feel more like a Muslim not doing the right thing. Because of this, musalla and your tahajjud and your tasbeehs. You'll be praying for Gaza. And nothing's going to happen in Gaza. Because Allah Azza wa Jal says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah is not going to take a single step for the people who do not stand up for their own selves. First you stand up on your own. Iqbal, खुदा ने आज तक उस कौम की हालत नहीं बदली ना हो जिसको ख्याल खुद अपनी हालत के बदलने का. My Rabb, my Allah does not take initiatives. Make sure you understand that. There is no nepotism in Islam. We're not the chosen ones. In Surah Muhammad, Allah says, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to replace you guys. He's talking to Muslim. I'm going to replace you with some people who are going to be better than you. You need to understand. We need to take the initiative. Allah Azza wa Jal does not take initiatives. We do not need Islam doesn't need us. We need Islam. Islam is not dependent on human beings. Inna deena indallahi Islam. Islam is only dependent on Allah Azza wa Jal. Yes, ma'am, you had a question.
Can I
Oh, please go on. So yeah, please don't use the word motivation.
But I do understand your perspective and I agree with it. So my question was, if someone's not inherently towards maybe taking responsibility, maybe they're just inherently materialistic, do you, conclusively, my question is, do you think people change?
Yeah. People, yeah, of course people. First, at your age, don't be a pessimist. People are going to change. If people couldn't or didn't change, this planet would have been, there's so much good which is still in this planet that has ironically come from people who were not really good. In their 20s and 30s, people are inherently selfish. But in their 40s and 50s, a natural human being, most of us, they go into this little realization, a catharsis. Okay? And in the 40s, you start to see the bigger change that happens in most of the people's life. And they become givers and they become a little more, towards a group rather than just their own selves. Okay? Yes, sir.
So you spoke about Islam and Korea. How would you reconcile servicing Islam and servicing humanity? Where do you think they might overlap?
They better overlap. If you're serving Islam, humanity better prosper under you. Humanity is, there are so many things that, general humanitarian manifesto is from Islam, or from the Bible, or from the Torah, or from the Quran. It is the ideology that Islam carries that Allah in the Quran says, وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ not مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَالْمُسْلِمَاتِ. That whenever you see an oppressed nation, regardless of whether they're Muslims or not, why don't you go and see to it that the oppressed is curbed? Okay? So Muslims should have been the first people against apartheid. You know who were? The Jews. You know what they followed? The Torah. We didn't even care about what was happening in the South African apartheid as a mode of thinking through the Quran. No. Even the Quran was actually telling us to go help Nelson Mandela, help that community. Quran was forcing us, it's mandatory clause of being a Muslim. We didn't even think about, because we're all about ummah only. Even the whole planet is the ummah of the Prophet. Okay? So they better overlap. That's what I'm saying. Think through this clutter. They created this little fluff and clutter. Think through it. You have the IQs for it. And use Quran as a book of your career. I'm telling you this right now. It's a global change maker. Every prophet is sent as a problem solver. We think that all the prophets were sent to their own people only to solve a tiny little problem of oppression or religious problem only. No. Our Prophet ﷺ said that every prophet is sent to their people. I was sent to the planet. All the people are my people. Understand, you're a Muslim. You are a humanitarian by birth. Okay? And you better be using the Quran and channeling the Quran to make sure these sorts of things don't come in your way as a resistance. You should be able to channel them. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Most of the Palestinian cause is being flanked by the left. They're the humanitarians. That's the problem. We should have been channeling it to the right. Okay? Anybody else? Before we? Yeah, thank you. All right, guys, I really appreciate your time. I really do. And I do not know when, but I'm hoping soon I'm going to, be reading about any one of you guys in the mainstream where, things are going to be happening, inshallah. Maybe one, maybe some, maybe all of you are going to be responsible for some things which are going to make us, people like me, proud, inshallah. Okay? And not just being proud, but proud of being a Muslim, being one of you. Okay? Understand that I came here to give you responsibility, not to motivate you, but to burden you. Okay? Burden you. And nothing I said that you cannot look up. This is not an idea that I came up with. This is This is common sense. Anyone would have talked to or spoken about this with any religion. I'm just a Muslim, happen to be talking to Muslims. I'm telling you this right now. We are followers of the Quran. We have a way bigger responsibility than any other religion because, this is a book for the planet, not just for India, Pakistan, or Arabia. Okay, girls, hope. I'm leaving with a hope. Okay, boys, we're leaving twice the hope. Okay, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.